Hello, my lovelies. It's Murky Meg here. It's Wednesday, the 22nd of March, and I thought I'd drop in, say hi, because I have a couple of things that have been bothering me recently, and I thought I'd like to get them off my chest. Things are still a little bit more delicate here, and lots of things going on. I'm going to try and pop by as much as I can. Hopefully in the next week, I'll put out a few videos, because a lot's been going on, and a lot has been swirling around. But in this video, I want to discuss the issues with Harry's visa. There has been many speculations about how Harry got his visa in the first place. Yes, he's married to Meghan, but that doesn't automatically guarantee you a green card. Did he get his visa to work on a diplomatic status because he is part of the royal family? So therefore, him using his royal status that he so despises got him his visa. Many have speculated, but there's been no definitive proof of what he used as evidence to gain his visa and ultimately let him work and earn all those big bucks in the United States. Does it seem fair that Prince by royal blood, but he's all but shunned his family, is allowed to rinse his titles to earn a buck? Do you think that's fair? Or do you think, hey, no, not on, mate, not on. It's been shrouded in mystery, but it's now reared its ugly head again. The issue of just how he got his visa and whether or not his recent revelations in his memoir and subsequent interviews to promote his book, The Spare, he has revealed that on many occasions, and until quite recently, he still is a drug user. He has admitted to taking cocaine, magic mushrooms, this weird psychedelic drug that apparently helps him open his mind, and of course, cannabis. Now, cannabis is legal in the state that he lives, so we can't technically use that as an issue of why he wouldn't be granted a visa or why a visa may well be revoked. Doubtful that's going to happen, to be perfectly honest, but people are asking the question, is his recent revelations about what he's taken in the past a breach of visa protocol if he didn't declare it? Former federal prosecutor Nima Rahmani told Page 6 that an admission of drug use is usually grounds for inadmissibility. That means Prince Harry's visa should have been denied or revoked because he admitted to using cocaine, mushrooms and other drugs. Now, it is common practice for US officials to stop foreigners who have committed drug offences entering the country, but Harry hasn't committed drug offences. But it seems now that Harry is now facing more calls for his US visa application to be released to see whether he admitted to his drug use before emigrating to California with his wife and leaving the royal family. A conservative think tank is in the middle of a battle with Washington officials who are refusing to publish any details, including any text messages or emails. The Washington officials say, no, they're not going to release anything. We're not going to do that because that would be massive invasion of privacy. But a DC-based Heritage Foundation says that Harry's visa application must now be released so the American taxpayer can understand whether Harry declared his drug use or not. Under US immigration law, there are very harsh penalties for lying to immigration officials, including deportation and being barred from applying for citizenship. But we know that Harry is probably not going to apply for citizenship because if he applies for citizenship, he will lose his titles. But can people be really banned from visiting the US because they've admitted to taking drugs? Well, yes, quite frankly. They can. US officials can stop foreigners who have committed drug offences entering the country, even if they have never been arrested and charged by the police. Under US rules, suspected drug users applying for a visa may be required to answer additional medical history questions and also take a medical exam to prove that they were not still a drug user before being allowed to enter the country. Famously, in 2014, Nigella Lawson, the British cook, was banned from flying to the US because she confessed to taking drugs. Amy Winehouse is an iconic example of not being allowed into the US because of drug-related behaviour. She was due to attend the Grammys in 2008, but her visa was denied on the grounds of drug use. And people are rightfully calling out Harry, who, as I've said, admitted to taking illegal drugs, and there should be no exception for royalty or recreational use. Now, there's been a lot of ruffling feathers because of this DC-based Heritage Foundation calling out for Harry's visa information to be released to the public. But unfortunately, it is extremely unlikely that these admissions will present a problem because there's been no criminal convictions. But as I've said, others were denied and they weren't convicted. In all of his junket interviews, I call them junket interviews because that's really what it is. It was a publicity push. Whether he was sitting on the sofa with whoever it was to push his memoir. He admitted to taking cocaine, cannabis and magic mushrooms. Now infamous, the magic mushrooms were in Courtney Cox's house, which is funny enough, she comes up with a completely different version. Recollections may vary, hey Harry? In his book, he claims that he took magic mushrooms while staying at Courtney Cox's house, but there was a different take from Courtney herself, who said he did stay there for a couple of days, probably 2 or 3. He's a really nice person. I haven't read the book. I do want to hear it because I've heard it's really entertaining. But yes, it's gotten back to me about it. I'm not saying there were mushrooms, and I definitely wasn't passing them out. Now, during the interview circuit, Harry said that marijuana and psychedelics really helped him with his trauma, while cocaine was more a social thing. And, of course, the Heritage Foundation is now calling for his visa application to be released. Mike Howell, who is the director of Heritage Foundation's Oversight Project, said this request is in the public interest in the light of potential revocations of Prince Harry's visa for illicit substance use and further questions regarding Prince's drug use and whether he was properly vetted before entering the United States. And some experts have actually said that visa applications would usually be thrown out if there was any history of drug use. And the Heritage Foundation says that if border officials did know and that he admitted this on his visa application, Harry's case raises questions over whether he was given special treatment because he was a prince and his wife is a TV star, which they insist would be illegal. Now, the US State Department spokesman said visa records are confidential under Section 222 of the Immigration and Nationality Act, and therefore we cannot discuss the details of individual cases. Now, it's been heavily speculated on what visa Harry is actually on, and he could be working in the US on a fast-tracked visa, handed to people with extraordinary ability, known as an O1 visa. Now, does Harry have extraordinary ability? That's a genuine question to you all. Does he have extraordinary ability? Now, the Heritage Foundation are now demanding the release of his visa application to know whether or not he was vetted properly before coming to America. The group also wants to know if he admitted to officials that he took drugs, which immigration experts note meant he should have been declined residency in the US, and if he's failed to disclose this narcotics use during the application process. The foundation has compiled a dossier of evidence, including Harry's own admissions, and this has been sent to the Department of Homeland Security, US Customs Border Protection, and US Citizenship Immigration Services to bolster their Freedom of Information request. And like I said, as of yet, US officials have refused to release any visa application citing privacy concerns. One major question still lies. How did he get his visa so quickly? How is he allowed to work in the US so quickly without any issue at all? Was it fast-tracked? Is it a diplomatic visa? So many unanswered questions. And I don't think this Heritage Foundation is going to be successful in getting their Freedom of Information request at all. I think Harry is being protected by some pretty powerful people, and I'd like to ask why. I'd also like to know what his exceptional ability is, because that's quite laughable, isn't it? Exceptional ability. Okay, so I would love to know your thoughts on this. Do you think that this could scupper his visa plans? I seriously don't think so. I think he has some serious backers. I really, really do. Tyler Perry being one of them, Oprah Winfrey being one of them. Serious backers with serious money. But you've got to ask the question, why? What's in it for them? Powerful, influential, wealthy people. Tyler Perry isn't influential, but Oprah Winfrey kind of is. You know, not for me personally, but she is technically influential. Powerful, influential, wealthy people do not do favours that they can't use back in return. So what's the catch? Please do enlighten me. So I'd love to know your thoughts on this. Do you think it'll scupper his visa plans? Don't think so. Do you think that this is just to make waves, get promotion? Or do you think that it could seriously affect his visa. And should the freedom of information be granted and that US taxpayers know whether or not Harry disclosed his illegal drugs use to border officials on his application, or whether or not he lied. If he lied, what should be the punishment? As always, I would love to know your thoughts. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notification bell, and also that like button. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of my followers for all the tips and all the emails, DMs that everybody sends to me. It really is greatly appreciated. So thank you very much for watching once again.